Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and show you how to exchange out an ET tube. You have to exchange out ET tubes if you have a leak in the pilot balloon, which affects how much oxygen and tidal volume and PEEP the patient actually gets. So the first thing that we'll do is go ahead and take off your cast tube suction if they have it, so that if you were to take out this ET tube, you would not be suctioning then all the way up the trachea, because sometimes the suction area that's on the side of this ET tube can hit the tracheal wall and then cause even more suction. And then the next thing that we're gonna do is suction out the lungs, making sure that you're 150 max, and then intermittently suction. And then once we're done, she's gonna put on the Yunker, or we can get the flexible suction catheters, like Dr. Moore showed you too. You have to just suction and get the secretions that are sitting above the cuff, because you don't want those to fall down into the lungs and cause ventilator-associated pneumonia. You also need to get an additional ET tube and a 10 cc syringe and lubrication. You can open up your ET tube and your 10 cc syringe, pull back to 10 cc's of air, and then you're going to inflate and make sure that you are holding a seal here with your cuff. When you're all done and you make sure that your ET tube is holding air, suck out all that air and make it flat again, just like you would whenever you're intubating. And then you can put some lubrication on it, and then just kind of move it around in there, because you just want it to be slick, okay? And you need to go ahead and put your 10 cc syringe over here, and then Dr. Moore's gonna go ahead and she's gonna take off that tape, and then I'm gonna give an O2 breath here, put them on 100% for 2 minutes, because we are gonna be without oxygen just for a minute, not too long, not a literal minute.
So I got all my tape in here.
You got all your tape. Okay.
And
So
I'm
before
holding the tube at the 25.
right. So she's noting at where she is at 25. I'm going to get my Cook catheter. As you can see, your Cook catheter has the very end of it is a 15 millimeter adapter, which is like our RT and hospital uniform adapter. So the end of the ET tube, it looks just like the end of an ET tube, and she can put the circuit on here as well as an ambu bag if she wanted to. The big difference between a Cook catheter and like a bougie is that this is smaller. It's has like little donations of centimeters and whatever, and then it's got a hole in the middle of it too, so that we can oxygenate and ventilate in the event we need to. So what we're gonna do is make sure that this is on nice and tight, this part, okay?
Yeah, so the white cap slides up off for you to take the blue part off.
There's a little white cap right there, okay?
But right now that white cap needs to be pulled down and tight.
Yeah, and so we're gonna get ready, and then we're gonna go ahead and put the ventilator on standby very briefly. And then I'm gonna match my numbers up here, and then she's gonna turn on the vent, and I'm matching my numbers up on the ET tube with the catheter, and then I have to deflate my cuff here, and then I'm just making sure that I'm keeping the 25 centimeters at the same spot that it was previously, because this is the patient's airway. And so we're gonna...
You got the tube?
Yep, I got the tube.
I'm gonna disconnect the ventilator. I am now going to take this part off.
And she's gonna take that ET tube off all the way. And then she's gonna guide that back on there. Okay, and then we're gonna slowly go down there. Don't be too hasty. And we're gonna push that down. I'm still matching my numbers. And I am in, I do believe. And now she's gonna hook the end of this. we're going to go ahead, take 10 cc syringe and blow it up just a little bit. You usually don't need much. And then before we secure it, we have to go ahead and listen to lungs again and over the belly just to make sure. And she has good breath sounds, and now we're gonna re-secure the airway. And our hands are slippery, sorry y'all. And then the other thing that we're gonna do too is order a chest x-ray, okay? So, and that should be it. All done.